Thank you very much, Puckett. Yes, let's get into this one. And yeah, interesting point brought up by the desk. Las Vegas may be 7th and Boston may be 11th, but this game doesn't feel like it. What this game does feel like is a great indicator of how these two teams are going to measure up going into Major 2. Yes, Boston Breach have had their woes, but you can't really compare woes with the Legion. They've had significantly worse over their lifetime, Ton.
Yeah, it really has been a rocky road for the Vegas Legion, but things are definitely on the up. For Boston Breach, things started nicely and have since then not necessarily looked the best, but I kind of agree with the sentiment from the desk. You know, if we do go to that map number 5, I think everybody in the chat, everybody in the studio, everywhere will pretty much lean towards the side of Vegas Legion. It's whether or not we do get there, that is the question. But if they can force it there, the Search and Destroy has looked really good, but the Boston Breach will be hoping to force the fact that that should not happen. Are they going to be able to close this one out in 4? That's the ideal situation for them. I think the control is the biggest one for me, though. Both teams not looking that good on that game mode, full stop. It's very much a mid-off in that one, but we're going to have aBeZy Hardpoint to kick things off. Hardpoint vetoes actually went a little bit strange there, to be honest with you, Brycey. We were kind of having a look at things, theorizing which way we thought things were going to go. Vegas Legion have vetoed Hotel Hardpoint 8 out of their 11 matches so far in Modern Warfare 2, and it's Boston's best map. Guess who vetoed it? Boston! Couldn't believe my eyes. Anyway, so that doesn't really make too much sense. We end up with aBeZy first. Not too sure why Boston are choosing to get rid of Hotel. It was free and open, but they do so and get it gone. Here we are in aBeZy for some peculiar reason.
Well, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, they've been working hard in the background to figure this one out, especially since they got Nesload last time around. Let's see if the adjustments they have made gives them a better start for it. And of course, these two teams, realistically, you got to say the Legion, for me, my dark horse moving forward into Major 2. I think they are improving leaps and bounds every single time we have seen them. For Boston Breach, probably a little bit more consistency could pay out.
And a big part of that growth, I want to say, for the side of the Vegas Legion, Clayster. From stage 1 to stage 2, he has improved massively, and 0.89 over the whole stage of stage 1. So far in stage 2, a 1.14. So a good start from him in this game specifically. Not a great start for Vegas Legion, though, as P1 goes 24 points towards the side of Boston Breach. It's a little bit of a mixer heading over towards P2, but Boston Breach will quite happily take those 24 points. It is TJ trying to answer back, set up, not really anybody's to hold on to just yet.
I say TJ probably a little bit stressed there, knowing he had so many angles he had to cover by himself. But the battle for the rotations has gone the way of the Legion. They're going to be here to begin with, but reinforcements will be streaming in from both sides. Might be a big play out of Clayster here if we can catch this team on the bounce. Doesn't matter, Prolo gets 2, Clay gets the 3rd.
Nice.
A full sweep out for Legion as Temp cleans it up. And now they're going to be watching for the spawns.
A little bit of a split here for the Boston Breach. Are they going to be able to read this? Temp will say thank you very much. It's 2 of the easiest kills he'll pick up all day long. Good hold from the Vegas Legion so far. Rotations are going to be important in this map specifically. Both two teams very even when it does come down to statistics in terms of those rotational wins. The breaking and the holding, though, just on the side of Boston. The holding for Vegas Legion, though, looking pretty solid.
Temp not even bothering to challenge it, saying, hey, Methodz, if I can catch you sprinting, all good, but I don't need to challenge quite yet. Eventually, though, his teammates do fall, and Temp is going to battle for scrap time, but more importantly, the rotation. Those spawns coming in at tennis court ton may mean Prolo gets lucky climbing the ladder, but I don't think so.
Yeah, that force from Boston towards P2 is kind of what starts spawning Vegas Legion towards this side of the map. It isn't going to work out for the Legion either way. Boston Breach are still in control. Happy to be here after P2 didn't really go their way. Get rotated early over towards the planter, locking things down, but you need to stay alive. 3 dead now.
The Owakening playing for his life here. He's still going to be weak, but Prolo gives him the shoulder, but Owakening eventually gets it down to a nade. And it will be the Legion who gain control of top P3. You can see already they're looking pretty good. The rotation is going to come in as well. Boston ready for this next hill.
This next hill is really where both these two teams have been seeing a lot of success. But it is Boston with the slight more success, and well, you're going to get plenty of that success over towards P3 as well. P4 has been the money maker for both of these two squads, though. Boston Breach, the more beneficiary of it, though, and can they be here? They have the rotation. Bryce is good for them.
Oh, normally you go through the top to try and break this at the moment. Nobody really has for Legion. Boston's still going to be holding firm, but TJ will break into this hill. Both teams just looking for positioning methods, trying to wall bang TJ. TJ fighting for his life, knowing where these players are coming from. And as the trades continue to go down, it's the Legion who are going to get the better side of it. They have managed to push Boston out here, which is considerable, considering they were not there on the rotation originally.
That's a hill that Boston Breach. I don't want to see you have it as a crutch that you pick up some decent points on, but it's gonna definitely influence the game. Vegas Legion are definitely here. It's been a scrappy one so far. Now the team able to lock down a good amount of time, and both hills being traded left, right, and center as well. Both teams in and out. Vegas Legion have another look at it here, though. TJ will find one. The setup is there, but they're going to start be thinking about this rotation over towards the kitchen, and well, they'll be thinking about it now. 2 dead. Boston Breach do get back in. It's going to be a pretty tight game by the time we get over. Big kill from Prolid on the rotation. I said it's both teams getting a good solid hold, and all of a sudden being broken very, very rapidly.
Oh, a big part of that is probably Owakening. Started off very, very slow. 0 and 3, 0 and 4, I believe. Now 7 and 4. Has turned up the temperature. Vivid also going on his own streak. It's been unanswered kills for Boston Breach. The Legion now going to try and break. Nero going to get the first one down. Looking for the next one. Awakening coming flying in, but he also gets traded out as Legion will gain this one before they lose the lead.
Good breaks coming through again. Both teams clearly quite clinical with it. Nero will find the kill at the 10th as well. Vegas Legion just really not at, well, all at sea actually, if you like, but Kalista finds 2. The SMG out getting the job done. Nelly finds the 3rd there. It's Temp to clean it up, but some good time here for the Vegas Legion. This is as big as the lead has really looked for, well, since P1, to be honest, where Boston Breach managed to pick up a decent amount of time, but this is a really nice hold over towards Kitchen. And heading into the second rotation of hills, it's going to be about a 40-point lead if they can hold on to this last 10 seconds.
Plays cooking. 24 now, his teammates have gone down. He's going to wait this one out, see if anybody comes for the trade. He's got the pre-aim ready, and he actually takes down one, but he will be traded again regardless. The 5 streak ends there. And now as we go back towards P1, it is still a very close game. Legion will be leading to begin with. Probably won't want to give away as many points in this P1 as they did last time.
Pro is just in a position to try and disrupt anything going on over towards P1. We've seen Boston Breach pick up a good amount of time here. When we did kick the game off, spawns have been put though heading over towards P2, but a lot of things can happen in this next 35 seconds of P1. Both 2 teams fighting for control of Orange, just trying to pick up any scrap time that they possibly can do. First they may well clear the way here for a few seconds to go towards Vegas Legion. Rotational fight going on though. TJ will win it. P2 control currently with Legion.
That's exactly where they managed to get the lead last time, Tunt. We're looking to do it again. Obviously, still a little bit of scrap time there for Boston. Maybe challenged, but Temp isn't going to get it. This now becomes critical. Legion want to hold this. You can already see out towards the back. Vivid looking for the pinch, looking for the opportunity. Nero already gets his player he was going to look for there eventually. And Vivid has become kind of obsolete. He might have to move up here and get into this one for the pinch. He is going to do exactly that, but TJ finds him before he can as both teams try to get in a better position to take this one. At the moment, Boston Breach doing the better job.
Plus this, well, version of try and find me if you can towards the back of the map's being going on. It's Vegas Legion who eventually get away with these trades towards the front side. It's back and forth. It seemed like Boston Breach were in a good spot, but Vegas Legion once again going to pick up some really good time over towards P2 because Kalista's beaming. Can he find Nero as well? The reach out comes in. Kalista's like, why has he done that? Well, he's done it because he's beamed you and solved the rest of Boston Breach. They find a way through with 20 seconds to go. Vegas Legion walking away, licking their wounds. They have somebody already over towards Planter as well. Tennis court control. Can they get some good time here, Vegas Legion? It was mostly Boston last time.
Oh, Nero is a dangerous man here. He knows he's going to need to stay alive. Wait for his teammates to back him up, but he could be the thorn in the side, but at the back is going to be Kalista. And Nero, the last man alive, they're going to know he's here as well. They haven't seen him in some time. The chow comes through. Kalista cleans up another one. Every single time you think Boston are about to tie this game up or take the lead, Legion leap forward again.
Kalista, a really big moment there. Hiding over towards the back generator, lying down the sneaky little beaver. Finds a couple of kills, locks down the hill for Legion, but they need to manage to hold on to this if they can. It's a 2-for-2 trade. Nero up the ladders.
As it worked out for him, Vivid is going to be here. 1 health point. Oh, it doesn't matter. 1 HP in a dream. Stays alive, and it's the same old story. Hill after hill. Legion ahead. Boston with a scrap. Coming back into it once more. As we head over to this next hill, will either of these teams definitively give us a lead, Ton?
Boston Breach looking to try and find the lead. P4, as said, has been where they have been getting a lot of points. It's their moneymaker, but are the comms there as well? Let's go for listening with the Boston Breach.
Down here. Yeah.
Be back on.
Watch him back off.
No, let's I'm flanking him. I'm flanking him. I'm flanking also flanking him.
Left corner down. Bathroom. Front chair's weak.
Okay, front chairs.
There's 2 front chairs.
Got one in the bathroom late.
Okay.
Oh, he's hurt one time.
Got me. I smoke door. I'm gonna back. Backside time, man.
Triangle home. Triangle home.
Hit my close, to be honest. I'm playing the back here.
Yeah, we are playing some.
I'm gonna play this P2.
One bathroom.
Back on top of it. Data, back on top of it. I set up in the doors. What's the time? Back. I'm playing towards you. I'm playing out. Bathroom ready. Bathroom weak. I'll get your front. Hold your front.
Yeah.
I your front.
I'm gonna next one. This one.
Watch your back, I'll have your front.
I got my.
I'm gonna ping. I'm gonna go P2.
What's ladder done?
You can go. Was bathroom.
Pretty sure he's still in bathroom. He never crossed the I'm trying to clear this guy out bathroom. I'm going back to Steve.
I'm on the third van right now.
He's on sign. Taking sign. Okay. He's still bathroom. Weak in bathroom shadow. Still on sign. Backing up PC right now.
Well, this game really has come down to the wire over and over again. No team able to hold a hill for the full 60. Neither team able to get the break solidly as they would want. Right now, it could come down to this, but Boston break in again, ton.
Last time around, Vegas Legion was so good. When we got over towards Kitchen, it was 40 or 50 points, uncontested. Vivid just walks through Orange, and it's the freest kill of his life with the attack. All of a sudden, the Vegas Legion are starting to spawn out. Boston Breach may well take the lead here. They've been behind for so long.
And look at this Method farming the kills out that he knows he needs to find. It's dangerous now for Legion. They did not get this rotation locked in early. They gave away a significant amount of points. Awakening dancing, looking for the player instead, trying to figure out. Here's Priestahh, guns him down, running back to the point here as well now. And even now his teammates are getting the points over and over again. Boston have held since Awakening continues to go huge. Slow start, huge game. And we can see that the Legion may be faltering.
And the Legion, I wonder what the comms are like in that camp, because that was so free for the side of Boston Breach. They're 15 away. P1 control currently in their hands. If you're Vegas Legion, you have to contest this.
We're going to see at the moment it goes back and forth. Eventually they clean them out. The Legion have a reprieve, but it is not a big one. This could get mixy around P1. The Legion cannot afford to give this away even for 7 seconds.
TJ want a gunfight over towards P2 as well, but they have to continue to lock this down. But they also need to think about P2. Vivid up top finds one, as does Methodz. This could be it.
Vivid being a pain, Vivid being a pain, and it's the pain that may cause this game to end as Nero gets another, and the Legion are not close. The Legion are going to go down, leading all the way through the game to fail at the last hurdle. Boston Breach will take the hard points. And we know we needed one of these teams to find another gear at some point, but it was Boston who held fast and held consistent. The Legion lacking.
And you've got to look at P5 again. First time around Kitchen, Vegas Legion were pretty much cooking the entire time. It was 40, 50 seconds. A beautiful hold first time around. Second time around, the complete opposite. And it's just such an easy... Vivid walks through Orange, through mid-map, opens the doors, finds a gunfight in somebody's back. Nobody over towards that side of the map. I don't know what Legion are doing. I'm going to have to rewatch to see their positioning exactly, but it looked far, far too easy to break. And also, ultimately, that's what cost them the game, because then all of a sudden you're chasing your tail, you're fighting off the back foot. You had to stop as much time going over towards Boston on P1 because they're 15 away. You can't think about P2. You lose the game. And it was so back and forth throughout. Both two teams finding a rotation, losing the hill within 20-30 seconds. It was kind of the repeat all the way through. The same pattern over and over again. And you just, if you're Legion though, in that moment, especially on the first rotation of hills, of how well you did. I mean, KiSMET finds the break. They found, I want to say 40 seconds or so. And it's just going to be such a frustrating way to lose it, because you just let it slip just a little bit of lack of concentration of making sure what's being covered. Cost you the game.
You know what? I've got to give full credit to Boston.
100%.
I think when you look at this game objectively from the beginning, every time I think Legion managed to get a rotate, and they were very good at these rotations. You can even say the same for Legion a little bit, but we'll get to that. The breaks were huge. They were splitting hill after hill after hill. Legion were doing the right thing, but just weren't able to get a full 60 to give them enough breathing room. And you are right, it is a collapse at the end there, something that Legion will not be happy with, considering with how well they were doing. Also, credit to Big Wake. I said, I think he started off 0-3, maybe 0-4, ended up 25 and 14. It's an outrageous stat through the rest of the game.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried about him with that start, averaging a 1.29 when it does come down. to aBeZy hardpoint, and he very much kept up with that, if not excelled it. A big game for Big Wake. Just staring me down in the camera. That just got me a bit nervous for game number 2. And we didn't really see it from the other side of things. We maybe expected maybe a little bit more from Temp. We've seen a good game from Clay. It's going to be a frustrating one to watch back if you are the side of Vegas Legion, but if you're Boston Breach, you're happy with the comeback. The momentum is well and truly in your favor. But heading into a Search and Destroy reset now for Legion, they know they've been so strong on this mode specifically. But that's got to be a disappointment, and you can kind of see it on their faces. They know that that one wasn't necessarily free, but it was very much one that was in their hands.
Yeah, a lot of good points to take away from both teams. Some really good rotations and really good breaks, and that was probably the issue for both of them. They were never fully comfortable. Even getting into some money hills like P3, you thought, hey, they should be able to lock this down for some amount of time. Nobody really did. Nobody got that opportunity to pull into the lead or to pull the game back. And it has to suck just a little bit for Legion. They were leading the entire way, Ton, until that last hurdle.
It's got to be disappointing. And again, I said, you kind of tell them the body language. That's one that you have to... Maybe we'll just take in your stride of your Vegas Legion. Look, you are there. You are getting close. Last time around, I believe they actually beat Seattle on this map as well. They are contesting good teams on this map. Did they beat them? You know what? I'll have to double check that. I'm pretty sure they did. But nonetheless, they are very much getting there when it does come down to hardpoint. But as said, Search and Destroy really has been so good for them recently. But when it comes down to Mikado, which is going to be map number 2, both teams 0-1 on this specifically. So it's a little bit of a weird one. It's a bit of a toss-up. It is Boston's pick. They must be feeling good on it. And if they're heading into this second map, if they can take a 2-0 lead, they're in complete control of this series. No, they've got at least 2 more respawns before heading to another Search and Destroy to try and close the series out. But it's going to be a tall order. As I said, we don't have too much to read on for both these two teams. Interested to see which way it goes, though. Bryce, I'm excited.
It is. I quickly want to talk about Boston as we go into this S&D as well. I've got a feeling that this team is much better than they've kind of shown us so far.
Oh, definitely.
There was highlights of it, maybe week 1 of the CDL. Obviously, Major 1 Awakening was not well, but I just deep inside, this instinct I have says to me that Boston are a top 5 team. And I need to see it. It's the Awakening change. I feel like... I don't know. This is one of the weird things. I can't put my finger on why I think they should be better than they are. I just believe that this team has what it takes to kind of go towards the top. If anything, I would even say going into Major 2, this is a team I expect to place around there.
Yeah, but I would argue that Vegas Legion are on that trend as well towards the middle to top end. That's where they want to kind of make their move. It's a good finish for them in Raleigh. Of course, Boston Breach didn't necessarily get the rub of the grave in terms of the way that Awakening was feeling. This is kind of one of those... You love the word benchmarking, Bryce. I feel like it's a good benchmarking one because we can kind of understand where the Boston Breach really are. They didn't look good at all against OpTic the other day, whereas Legion have been typically getting better as time has went on. So both these teams are kind of in a collision course around that 6th to 8th mark for me. And it's curious where we are seeing them kind of go from here. Do they continue to get better via Legion? Do Boston Breach answer the critics and get back to where some people think they should be? Because 11th is not that spot right now.
It certainly isn't, obviously, and bearing in mind Awakening obviously missed out on champs last year. He does not want to be in this position again. Definitely wants to improve moving forward, but we always say there is a lot of points available in qualifiers. Each team will play 5 times over 3 weeks. That's 50 points available. It is critical, it is crucial to make the most of these. There are no easy games. There are no games you can afford to lose. You do not want to be staring down the barrel of having to pull off the miracle run. We know New York did it last year. They had an incredible time getting all the way to the grand final, but they had to get to that grand final. They couldn't afford to come 3rd. They had to come 2nd. And that is a nightmare scenario for most teams, as you cannot rely on it. And yeah, 10 points always up for each one of these games. Boston need it. Thieves would like it. Sorry, Legion would like it. And I think for me, obviously going into Major 2, there is a lot of season left. There is a lot of season left. These two teams really want to bed in and figure this out.
And one thing I kind of want to back you up with here is the fact that online, you kind of got more of a range, more efficiency, if you like, to try and pick up points. Because when it comes down to the major, there's not really a huge deal of points to play for. Really, you are winning the majority of your points in these online stages. This is where you need to be picking up games here and there. Even if you're only, you know, winning a couple over your online stage as the qualifier towards a major, that is definitely helping you out in the long run, though, more than maybe a decent placement of one major. I mean, look, I think the absolute pinnacle and prime example of this is LAG last year. They won a major and still were terrible on the points front. So you need to make sure you are consistent throughout the whole entire side of things, throughout the whole season, if you do want to make that run towards champs. And I think that's got to be such a big goal for this Vegas Legion side, considering the history, considering what some of these players' careers are kind of at the stage that they're at this moment in time. It's kind of last chance saloon for most of, if not all of these guys. They've got to perform this year. They have to.
Yeah, we'll find out, though. We will find out. And I think, if anything, there has been some very positive feelings about it. Here's the weird thing. When you talk about the lower teams in this league, people don't usually start with Boston or Vegas. No, they really don't. It used to be LAG. Obviously, LAG are currently on the ascendance. Their new challenger players have made a bit of a splash coming into the league, and we're looking forward to see how that plays out. London, with another team change we will see later today, is going to basically be the the testing ground for them as well. Desperately need a win in this league. We are just going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, we will have Map 2 here on the Call of Duty League. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you right after this.
flames of power burn inside of me. Beating past 1,000,000 degrees. They say I should follow to be free, but I don't aim to follow, I'm the lead. I am not the one you want to start this with, cause when I do that would be nothing that can pardon this. I set the flames to your building like an arsonist, and I don't wake up until I had no part in it. And you can get down and lay down, you can call it you evil, leave with nothing to say now. Say you wanted to smoke, so I promise I'm not gonna play around. It ain't gonna be fun when I swing, this ain't no playground. No, this ain't no playground. This is fun. Oh, you said you wanted to win, well, this the right fight. Pray for when the darkness comes, turn on your nightlight. Well, you should have brought you a gun, cause we don't like knives. Since the power went to my head, haven't been quite right. Flames are burning, things are churning, knees are bending, ankles burning. I'm the teacher, you should learn it. I'm the judge, and here's your verdict. This is hell, and you deserve it. I'm feeling charged up, I'm feeling charged up. Keeping my guard up, you cannot stop us. I'm feeling charged up, I'm feeling charged up. I'm feeling charged up, I'm feeling charged up. Man, I cannot pretend the road is not tough. They trying to slow me down, they ain't people to be bucks. Constant on my mind, the ones I do love, they counting on me now. Too late to give up. Lace my shoes up, I'm tired though, you should know. My race can't be rushed, my rivals, they will fold. When they see me come out, I bet that they gon' start running. I'm a stone to a giant, I ain't afraid of nothing. Grit in my left hand, vengeance in my right. Go straight up, I ain't wasting.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty League. We are live and we are in game. We are not holding anything back. We've gone straight in. It's Boston Breach versus Vegas Legion. We're on the S&D, and already you can see the Legion have made hot feet over towards B.
Las Vegas Legion have been looking good in Search and Destroy, but a 0-2 record on this map specifically. Haven't seen it from the side of Boston. That bomb is going to go down over towards B. It's a big rush coming in from the side of Legion, looking for Breach, and Vivid specifically the one to answer.
Oh my goodness, he disappeared, but they've lost numbers here. 3 versus 3. TJ will throw the shoulder, but he gets stunned. They're going to know he's here as well. It's back to back for the Legion. And they are outnumbered, but will they be outgunned? TJ gets one and back to a 2 versus 2. Vivid is going to look for this one, and it's going to be taken down, but not quite quick enough. Oh my goodness, he gets it! And Methodz now has to go for the defuse. ProLoot goes huge. Will he recheck this in time? Pro's always still from the shoulders. He did it in time. I don't know.
Oh, God.
Get it in the tiniest of margins. Production, if you're hearing me, cue up that as a replay for the end of this S&D. So much happened in seconds.
Oh.
And this is it. ProLoot throws the shoulder and comes out with milliseconds to spare. TTK and the Vaznev, just everything he needed. Clutch kills from ProLoot twice off the bomb. And Boston Breach must be furious.
Oh. Well, if you needed a round to regain on, if you're the Vegas Legion, that's one of them. You just about get a hold of it. Now the Boston Breach heading on over towards A. Do apologize, actually. Both teams are 0-1 on this. I was looking at the control stats, pressy hit, I can tell you, but either way, still not a win to be had from either two of these teams when it does come down to Mikado Search and Destroy. But that was a crazy, crazy first round. Bomb down and absolute chaos from then.
And it's all gone a little bit quiet here. Vivid and TJ. Close. Go see ProLoot first though, and Vivid's going to get away with it. No, he isn't. TJ goes for the trade. It's a 2 versus 3. Boston have the position, but can they get this bomb down? It looks like they might be leaving here. Awakening going to check the back. I think Boston going to try and play this slow.
Awakening happy to have this fight against Temp. Clayster though, the one with the aggression, the one with the Vaznev making the push forward. Now it's Methodz. Left alone once again. If he can get behind this bomb site, the second kill would have been huge, but he can't find it. TJ to clean up, and a very passive round from Legion, and kind of just allowing Boston Breach to go for that plant. It's a setup from the outside. They close that gap very, very quickly though, and find themselves 2-0 up.
It never looks particularly clean. But 2-0 up at the moment. And we know last time these two teams played, it was all about Legion in the S&D ton. It wasn't particularly close.
No, it wasn't. And for the most part, Vegas Legion have looked great in Search and Destroy, as mentioned, against multiple teams. And one thing that we were querying on before this map started was whether or not we'd see much of a sniper coming up from the side of Vegas Legion. Well, they haven't needed them because they're just running through Boston Breach over towards B. 2 times in a row, they've now headed over towards this site. We'll touch on the sniper stats in just a little second, though, because Vegas Legion have complete control of B right now.
Owakening, that brings us back to a 3 versus 3. Nero looking to be the hero. Just being patient, though. Not going to oversell his life. And we can see this. They obviously can't. Even with it this close. Oh, maybe a little bit of auto aim. We don't know. Nero hasn't, though. And, oh, he must get a gun barrel sticking through the door there. Oh, he's trapped out. ProLoot smashes the door open and completely eliminates him. Nero, but a shock and awe as Priestahh. Guns Owakening as well. Vivid for the 1 versus 3.
Vivid really has been that guy for Boston Breach when it has come down to this map. Small sample size, but putting up nearly a 2 KD, well, that's not going to help it with that gunfight challenge. Temp, nice and easy for him. Vegas Legion had so much success over towards B. Of course, A is typically the more progressive one that a lot of players will head towards. Yeah, ProLoot, what are you getting here? I wonder if it's maybe just a little bit of auto aim, or did he hear him changing weapons? I'm not too sure, but whatever. Wizardry ProLoot manages to pull off there. Gets the kill for his team, opens up that side just that little bit more, but that B hit is going to have to be something that Boston Breach answer to. Keep an eye on Vegas Legion's next attacking round to see if they do switch things up. Maybe the little fake over towards it is something that could be on the cards, but Boston Breach need an answer soon. 3-0 down.
They hit from both teams. Legion are here in force, but so are Boston. Looking for this already. Vivid going to get that still out as well, but TJ will get the first blood. A little bit of a bad position for him, though. Wants to back off. No, he doesn't. TJ wants to go forward and will go down to Nero. Like I said, not the greatest position for him. Didn't really have anywhere he could go.
Yeah, it was kind of like, do you stick a twist? Do you show your back to them, try and get away? Or do you just kind of go for it, see if you can find a second? You already found first blood, but Boston Breach are able to even the odds. Good shots from Temp. I think the team shot was there as well to help him out, but it will be traded. Priestahh now getting aggressive again. 3 and 2 from Clint. And Methodz, once again, left in a 1 versus 2.
Well, they're inside with him. They're inside. I think he heard him now, and Methodz going to find the first, but he's going to be taken down. I believe it's Priestahh. And wins the 1v1. Technical, because he didn't really get a chance to reset after that kill. But there he is. Priestahh sees him and kills him before he can do anything more. 4 and 2 for him, and another round for Vegas Legion.
And last time out, for the side of both these two teams, there was 0 conversion pretty much from first bloods. 33% for Boston, 25% for Vegas. But I think Vegas Legion are 100% right now. Every single time they found the first... I mean, they found every round, so of course they are. If they found the first blood, they've won the round. 100% conversion. Much better, Pricey, much better. It's quite hard, Matt. And there's another one. Priestahh's frying. Oh, my word.
Man's 105, Gunny 18. I've known him a long time. It's okay to say that. He's a good guy. Anyway, he's looking for this one. Not going to win it. Methodz will eventually get it. 2 versus 2 it comes down to.
And the first beacon of light for the Boston Breach here. But they've got to retake this site. And Temp and Pro will be expecting Methodz and Owakening to both be hitting back alley. If you are Methodz and Owakening, you just beg that Temp doesn't check this because it's a horrible one to push, but it sounds like ProLoot has managed to hear something. There's Methodz. Is Owakening going to be the next on the chopping block? Surely he dies. Surely he's over. Oh my god, flying him. 5-0. Vegas Legion running away with this one. The last 11 games of Search and Destroy, they've won 10, and we are seeing a prime example as to why. The pace, the control, and the gunny.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, and this is the funny thing. Depending on how this goes, Legion have won 10 out of their 11 last S&Ds. 6 in a row so far. And the last time Boston played... Vegas at S&D, they won 1 round out of 13. At the moment, that has obviously gotten much, much worse. It's a 5-0 here. Is this all done and dusted? ProLoot gets the first blood already. More flying in though. Nero going to get another one. It's going to be a second for them. Temp trying to get the trade, but can't actually get it, and he won't get away with his life. Boston Breach in a good position. Priestahh looking for the 1 versus 3. Probably a step too far.
I wouldn't put it past him the way that Vegas Legion have been playing here. Yeah, he's going to get caught by Vivid though, isn't he? No way he checks that. Yeah, nice round from the Boston Breach. Although, I think Temple probably feel a little bit aggrieved that he didn't find a kill, get himself out, and all of a sudden make it a 2 versus 2 rather than a 1 versus 3 for Priestahh to try and compete. Or complete, I should say. Vivid 3 and 5 from him. I think he may well only be one of the players from the side of Breach to be able to do anything at this moment in time. It's not really been looking good for them at all. But is that possibly the start of what would be a phenomenal comeback? Don't see it very often, but the full sale has to start somewhere.
Wow. Even just saying the word full sale gives me a little bit of nerves. Could be anything, but realistically, Ton,
look at this.
Legion look a cut above on the S&D.
Look how Boston
Breach. That's a problem for Boston.
Sorry to interrupt. So look how Boston Breach have to answer to these B hits. All of a sudden, you have to send 2 people over there because it's been so effective for Vegas Legion. And now the bomb's down to there. 4v4 retake.
Awakening does get away with his life. What did Boston Breach have for this retake? TJ already going to get the first, but TJ gets a second on the Vivid as well. And now it's a 2 versus 4. We can see Methodz taking the long route. He's going to get gunned. Surely there's Clayster here already. He's going to find the first, and he does. He's going to go for the chow. Clay, you madman. Doesn't matter. Methodz left alone, outnumbered, outpositioned, outgunned, and down go Boston. The record here for Legion is absurd, especially against Boston. The last 3 S&Ds they have played versus this team have been 6-1, 6-0, and 6-1. 20 rounds played, Boston have won 2.
It's not good start line, really, is it? But the side of Boston Breach, at least, it's a great one if you're a Vegas Legion player, though. That was over very quickly. I think our break lasted longer than that game. And I want to say, it just felt, I don't want to say that they were in their heads, but as soon as Vegas Legion, typically, I mean, I don't have the exact stat line, but I would say it's like, what, 75 or maybe 65% of the time we are seeing teams head over towards A. For the most part, it is where we end up going. It's an instant B hit, 4-man, and they do it again in their next attacking round. And all of a sudden, if you're Boston Breach, you're like, God, well, we're probably going to have to keep an eye on that one. And then that just allows them to have a little bit more control over towards A if you're Vegas Legion. Love the strats, fantastic work, and well, okay, the execution was brilliant as well from the Vegas Legion. Very well played. The series is tied up now, Bryce, and it's looking like a tasty one for the rest of it.
It certainly is. Let's find out how the rest of this plays out. But first, we're going to go to a break. Don't go anywhere. More Call of Duty League available just after this.
Upgrade your game with a Scump, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League is presented by the GMC Hummer EV Pickup, the world's first all-electric super truck.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty League. We have Vegas Legion going up against Boston Breach. At the moment, it's all tied up 1-1, a close hard point, and then a not close S&D. Control, we will see one of these two teams going to lead. Ton, how are we feeling?
We're feeling like these two teams are not that great at control, so this could be entertaining. 3-8 record for Vegas, a 3-5-1 for Boston. And one of those, as you pointed out at the beginning of the series, whilst we were off air, one of those wins for Vegas was actually against Boston. So, both teams in very much a mid-off when it does come down to control. But as mentioned in the S&D, when I got the stats wrong, this is the first time we have seen LSU control for Boston. 0-2 for Vegas, as is their bad control record. This one could very much go either way.
Well, let's see. At the moment, 10 Prolute already get it. Oh my goodness. There's the kill feed full. And Vivid last alive while his team respawns and retries.
And well, one of them survived. It's Vivid. And if you want anybody in mid-map to try and cause some disruption for the Boston Breach, it could be him. But really nice break off for the Legion. You love to see it if you're a Vegas Legion fan. Search and Destroy was clean, as was that break. Boston Breach, though, heading over towards B. Big fight.
It's a big kill for TJ because it's going to cause the rest of them to now have to turn around. TJ doesn't even chow the window. He knows they're going to be looking.
Oh, so smart.
TJ with another big gun. Looks for Vivid, who is flying off into the background, still trying to stay alive. The tick is slowly progressing as Vivid does stay alive towards the back, but it does seem like it's Legion in control.
Yeah, Boston Breach, the old switcheroo. Plenty of control over towards B and then making their way over towards A1. Extend that time as soon as possible. Temp alive and kicking up top if he tells us. He knows he's going to be shot at though from somebody like Awakening, and that's not somebody you want to try and gun. Well, let's take it. Boston Breach slowly but surely taking control of A here. It should be going over towards them. Brycey, that clock should be extended.
Yeah, it was never that big of a hit for Legion. They decided to maybe just cut their losses. They've lost a few of these gunfights as well, so their lives aren't that big of a lead. You see here Boston now figuring out if they can make it over. That's a huge kill by Awakening. Can they get back into it? No. Clay shuts him down before he can. It is going to be dangerous though. Legion are respawning far away. Methodz looking for Clayster up top. A crucial gunfight they had to stay alive for as Methodz eventually goes down. Boston have not jumped on this yet.
TJ just chilling in bar at the moment. Waiting for the rest of his team to maybe find something for an on-surge of Boston Breach players over towards the B side. The Vegas Legion, though, not able to quite do that. TJ gets taken down in bar. All of a sudden, it's all from the front. Vegas Legion gonna have to pull the rabbit out of the hat here. Oh, we'll just get Temp.
Huge from Temp. He played that very, very slow. Eventually picks up the kill. Boston still looking to apply the pressure. One of those is going to be Methodz as he tries to stay alive here and give his team an opportunity to push forward, and Awakening finds one as well. The Legion playing this very, very tight. They have not managed to extend. They aren't downfield. They aren't through the mid, but they are still winning the gunfights.
Oh, they are winning the gunfights, but on the back foot. Vegas Legion are the ones who find a kill. 4 from Temp. Swipe out the Boston Breach, so a little bit more breathing room for the side of Vegas Legion. The tension was there. Good shots from Awakening. 2 HP and surviving. And now Temp has to turn around. That will maybe allow the rest of Boston Breach to force their way over towards field, but TJ is ready there and waiting. 5 spree now for Temp. Can he keep it up? He needs to. Look at them out.
It's dangerous. Boston basically have to win every single gunfight, but they aren't winning them. Methodz wins 1, but there's no one really near the point. Awakening would have to get a jetpack here to get there in time. He's not going to. And it is a good round for Legion. Maybe a few gaps, maybe a few weaknesses, but nothing that Boston could really exploit. 15 and 7 on the lives. Just 3 ticks for Boston in the end.
Temp does go huge there. The final kill, wrapping up what I believe was a 6 spree to close out the round for the Vegas Legion. Good start. Managing to control that side of the map. They've got players, mostly TJ, forcing a route through in mid-map or over towards the A side of the map. Whilst that one's already down, you find a free route through, and all of a sudden you're behind them, causing issue. Even 1 kill is something that can disrupt a complete attack from the Boston Breach. That's their turn to defend. Temp, can he continue this break?
See, they've gone for inside control. Nero's going to be playing spoiler as well, though. You can see it, and Tem can't even get the bullet down before Nero takes him down. And TJ, last one alive in this point, and down he goes. Glacier goes for his trades. Not going to manage it either. A full respawn for Legion. They're going to try and get as much map control as possible before they get pinned in.
Dangerous spot. You gotta work your way out slowly. You cannot rush these kind of situations. Prolute will be the one to find a kill first. Methodz trades it though. Still, if you're Legion, yeah, in a really tough spot. But Prolute again. He has really been standout, but only on occasion. But when he does pop off, Prolute looks like such a dangerous player. But right now, the Vegas Legion look very, very dead. Place they should be dead to rights any minute now. But they've just been forced to wait. No purchase whatsoever on anywhere apart from their spawn.
Yeah, they're really struggling to get out here. Boston Breach doing an even better job than Legion did, as Prolute somehow wins that gunfight against Vivid with a drop shot. Nero, though, comes back in for the trade. And they can't get anywhere. The problem with A is that Methodz is sitting up top and gunning anything who comes near him. He has a trophy. He has the position. It might have to be a B hit for them, but already Awakening taking them down. Time is ticking. Legion are looking for anything they can get.
3 ticks last round for the side of Boston Breach. That's going to help them out. When it does come down to it, you'd rather have defense, and this has been, without being too harsh on the Vegas Legion, pretty pathetic. I mean, they've had absolutely no map control. Is there maybe one more stab at it over towards here? Prolute will just about get his hair cut inside the point before it is promptly taken up by one of the Boston Breach players. Awakening in a little bit of danger here. Nice nade to deflect. Vegas Legion have one tiny, small little chance here.
Boston are going to go for this as well. They know it's 1.4 seconds. They just have to win one set of gunfights, and it will all be over for them. And they're winning multiple as Vivid finds 2 on the flank. Prolute is under fire. He's alive, and he's down, and it's done. Boston Breach take the defense, and it's easy.
As I kind of said, it was pretty pathetic. I mean, they got forced into their spawn. Didn't really do a great deal from there. Barely touched the point. Really good from the Boston Breach, though, as soon as they were set up. Not allowing anything to happen for the Vegas Legion whatsoever. So that's a win. Take those first 2 rounds. Boston Breach are leading on the tick front. And we'll have defense in that final round if we do indeed need it. Although we do know Brycey quite often it can go 2 defensive wins and then 1 attacking round in the final one. Who's got the ice? If we get there, of course.
Long way to go. Boston will not want to make it even close if they can help it. Already the attack going through. Vivid manages to hit that as well, and he's looking for him. Picked wrong, but eventually picked right, but still can't get him. It's been the longest gunfight in the world, but Vivid will get it on a 5 streak as well. Want some help before they get into this one. You can already see players swinging position for this A hit.
Oh, good shots, really good shots. There's the rest of his team here to back him up. But with a purchase here for the side of Boston Breach. But TJ, once again, the thorn in the side. Always behind. Good shots from Big Wake. Not able to finish his dinner. Vegas Legion now. Tried to kind of, as you can see, they take a lot of field control if they can. They're quite happy for Boston Breach to spawn over towards this side. Just kind of have to hold the L of those first 2 rounds. There's nothing they can do about that now. But they're keeping them on for now, but air control now going over towards the side of Boston Breach. They should be able to get it, specifically with those 3 kills coming in. Legion off spawn over towards B.
Yeah, Legion won't go for this retake already because it's just not going to be viable for them. Down in lives, tick away. That's 6 now for Boston, 0 for Legion. Legion can get a small bit of silver lining, just hold this defense.
Rotation around. Legion. And go. Clay's just been wiped off the face of the earth. Fantastic centering shots from Awakening. And all of a sudden it's broken wide open. Temp's in a good position, but the rest of Legion are all at sea right now.
There's just not much they can do at the moment. Not a big stack coming in from them. They know a player's going to be behind them. Temp has to be crucial. Here comes the cruise missile they're waiting for. The rest of the Legion need to be in a position to capitalize on this one. Methodz will be taken out by it. That first tick is in a B. Still a good position for Breach.
Still have control. Temp's still behind them. He's influenced already, but could do with influencing just that little bit more. He's been taken down, so there you go. Dot your I's, cross your T's. If you're Boston Breach, you've cleared them out. You now just need to push from the front. There's the kills in. It's only 1 member of Legion that's really in much of a position to do anything about this, Bryce.
Well, that second tick roaring through the rest of Boston Breach moving forward. Vivid trying to do something. Probably managed to get a kill. Methodz is still alive on the point here, and it's going to be done, and does full and get it. Nero gets 2.
Got a child.
1. Methodz onto the point. Clay is just firing. Methodz guns him out of oblivion, and Boston Breach win their attack. 9 ticks to the good. Legion needed an attacking round to stay in this control.
The control woes continue. And honestly, I was getting arguably a little bit frustrated with Breach there, that they had so much control. They know where Legion are going to be spawning, and they still went stacking it. And I was kind of like, if you stack, you just win. But they just choose to go this sensible route. They push up players into tin. They've got someone up top window as well to watch the crossover to tin and over towards the back site. And all of a sudden, you just slowly and steadily take that one home. Boston Breach 2-1 to the good, and after what we've seen from Vegas Legion on this previous attack, this one might be done and dusted.
Can they find anything new here? First 2 kills does go down for the Legion. Nero will play spoiler. In a very dangerous position, and he is going to catch one as well. Temp hasn't turned. Temp's going to go down. And Clayster will eventually get that trade, but that is a lot of lost ground.
It is, but it was quite crucial for Clayster to find that kill. If Prolu gets back around, if Nero gets back around the corner, all of a sudden Prolu and TJ have no backup. TJ, though, still alive and kicking. We'll get Nero off the respawn. Vivid, though, will quite happily take Prolu here. On the side of Vegas Legion, you can see the players are waiting around the site. They're kind of just waiting for TJ to do something for them. And there you go.
That nade barrage has managed to get them in, but another chow. They've lost another player. Only 1 tick here onto A. Looking for eventually, and Temp gets gunned by Nero. Just nothing going the way of Legion. Nothing they need. Nothing they can get. Boston are shutting them down every time they poke their heads above the parapet. And they need a miracle.
The timing, unfortunate for TJ. But you're all right. They really do need a miracle. Vegas Legion. Yeah, okay, we know both these two teams have suffered in control. But on attacking front, this is being, well, up to now, pretty woeful showing from the side of Legion, but they are going to be able to get a little bit of control over towards the A side. Yeah, that would be a big kill. Probably cannot find it. And all of a sudden, you have to worry about Methodz from behind. You have to worry about Vivid at the front. Clayster will find one. He's the only one that finds anything. There's 10 seconds after this control. It's looking like Boston's.
Probably going to have to go for a hero play. That's a scary thing. Takes a nade in the teeth. 19 health. Down he goes to Vivid. The rest of the Legion just not here. Just not close enough. And it's going to be done. It's dusted. It's clinical for Boston Breach. They fire back 3-1 here on the control. Very much one-sided. And you can see it on the faces of Legion. It was not a good time.
Temp's laughing. Nothing going the way for Vegas Legion in that one. Boston Breach leagues ahead. Much better game out of them. They threatened more on their own attacks. Their defenses were clean. And that was as arguably as one-sided as the Search and Destroy was. Boston never really looked like losing that map. Really good performances out of absolutely everybody. Nero causing havoc in the mid-map. Methodz locking down Satellite. Vivid and Awakening just doing their own thing. Awakening, a real catalyst for that attacking round win. To the side of Boston Breach with the gunny on Clay towards the back. Kind of set it all up. Nicely done for Boston. They'd be very happy to put some of the ghosts of control behind them because things hadn't been looking that good recently. Just trading wins, losses, wins, losses. 3-5 record was not something to be proud of, has to be said, but 4-5, not looking too bad now. 2-1 up in this series, and deservedly so.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, we talked about Neslowing. Legion did it last time, but that, it's not possible if you don't have the control. So we'll see what they can figure out with this one. It's a huge win for Boston. Give me your honest opinion here. Do you think this ends in the hard point?
I mean, looking towards it, both teams are. Well, we're going to be going over the HyDra. Sorry, for anybody who's unaware. And both these two teams are the most well practiced on this map in a competitive setting. It's a really hard one to call, honestly. I've seen some good gameplay from Legion on this map. I don't know. My pick'ems are 3-2. I'm not going to lie. I kind of had Boston Breach winning the control. One of the hard points going over towards Legion and the two S&Ds. So I'm going to say yes. We're going for a game 5. I'm up for it.
Okay. It took you a while to get there. We got there. We did get there.
Well, I didn't want to say yes.
Had to do a little bit of calculation to figure that one out, Ton. But no, I agree with you. The problem is, obviously, for Boston, you do not want to go to map 5. You absolutely 100% do not want to go to map 5. It is not looking good for you. You need to end this series right here and now. S&D against Legion is basically the worst case scenario. So pressure's on for both teams. Legion have to get this, obviously, to continue the series. Boston don't even want to go to a map number 5, regardless of what map it is. Their record is abysmal.
I feel like pressure's on me, Bryce. Yeah, I got a perfect record in pick'ems yesterday. I don't know if I mentioned this. I want to kind of continue it. I did have it down for a 3-2 Vegas Legion here. And I had the map that I thought would be a really close one. I had them winning map number 1, though. That's kind of the scary thought for me specifically. And scary thought for the side of Vegas Legion. It's really hard, though, because I think looking at this map specifically, as mentioned, both two teams have got so much practice on it. When it comes down to it, though, it looks like Vegas are the team who are going to be heavy on the rotation, but haven't looked great on the holds, whereas Boston, not good on the rotations, but the holds are being good. So it's a different one to kind of ascertain. For Boston Breach, you need to tighten those up and you should be decent. But Las Vegas Legion also need to do exactly the same thing. So both two teams having the same deficiencies, if you like, should make for a very entertaining map.
Let's see. Let's see. By the way, TJ probably for the first time has got his camera on. Kind of missed the static TJ picture that we've been looking for so long. I forgot what it looked like in real life.
Not like the picture.
Well, I suppose again, bringing us back to the start of the series, one of the things we did say, and we have consistently said, this is a benchmarking game for these two teams. For Legion, it's another string to the bow that says this is a real force to be reckoned with going into Major II. For Boston, it's about proving that they deserve to be ranked higher than they are. Proving that they can take on anybody. And Legion is a hurdle for them. A hard point win here, obviously, cements them 3-1. But there's the record, Ton. It is going to be tight.
A really tight one. And just an overarching kind of stat for you guys at home before we do head into this one. Nothing to do with the map specifically. But Boston versus Vegas is now the only matchup in the CDL that features two pros from the pre-Black Ops 2 era, and that's Methodz and Priestahh. Just to make you all feel old. Me included, by the way. Very old. Now very sad that that stat exists. Scump's retirement. Two of the old heads very much going toe-to-toe here in this series. Does it end here, or do we get the map number 5 that we thoroughly do deserve? Boston Breach do not want to see it. Vegas Legion fighting for their lives.
Well, here we go. On to P1 between both of these two teams, and we're going to say, can the Legion find a hard point? They've done it last time they have played this Boston Breach team. If ever they've needed one, they really need it now. The other big thing they've got to keep an eye on, of course, P2. They're not great at holding this P1 and P2, Tom.
Yeah, P1 and P2 has been really the lose condition, if you like, for the side of Vegas Legion. On average, they are net minus 40 on each of P1 and P2, so they are struggling massively on these two hills specifically, and yet their record still, when it does come down to HyDra, is not the absolute worst, sitting at 2-2. So if they can fix up on P1 and P2, they're not looking too bad, but outside of that, they have been performing well. P2 now coming up. They're 25 to 26 to nearly 30 down already. That old form is currently repeating itself, especially with Nero winning that gunfight.
Well, sometimes stats tell the story we are going to see in advance. Boston Breach onto P2. Vivid will try and be the bottleneck as he just guns Clayster down. Temp is trying to dodge him here. Has a little bit of reinforcement, so those seconds are ticking away. Legion looking to just shut the door, and they've done it. Nero, the only player left here for Boston Breach to do anything, gunned by TJ, and eventually Legion can get a point on the board.
Whilst you were casting away there, Brycey, and Boston Breach were extending to a 41-0 lead. I was looking at Vegas Legion's break percentage when it comes down to P2. It was 0%. It's now no longer 0%. They find a lovely break. It's a clean 4 and should be a good chunk of time. Now we're thinking about P3 rotation. Vivid will just try and slow that down and does a beautiful job of doing so. Poorly placed their dead to the Wolves completely. His Temp now will find a kill. The extension comes in over towards P3. It's only Nero who is actually left. The spawns for Boston Breach are being manipulated wonderfully by Legion, and they have control of P3.
And Nero sitting right at the back, but they've caught it as well. You'll see them push out both sides at the moment. Legion are setting up for that back push they're expecting. TJ is a mile away, all the way at Dome. It's a bit of a split spawn for Boston Breach. They're still spawning P2. They can't get the back because it is blocked by Prolude, who says hello to Awakening, who took his time and pays the price. But the back spawn's now just come in. The back spawn's here. Legion, are they going to identify?
They know now. They know now. And the spawn out comes in from Temp, and they will be calling out a spawn out, because they've spawned towards the back. Not enough control. You need to make sure you lock it down. Spawn's a little bit funky, has to be said. But Kalista now here as well. It's all over the shop, Bryce. You haven't got a clue what's going on.
Well, I think at the moment, Legion actually pushed that out to try and get that back spawn. But when you do that, normally you want one person looking at it, so you know exactly when it's come up. But they are right. It's all over the map. But it will be Legion with a player deep. Prolude is all the way back, ready for this rotation.
I'm just looking at the spawns over towards P3. My brain hurts. Methodz now set up in the mid-map. Ultimately, it will be the Vegas Legion that benefit from whatever the hell was going on there. Boston Breach now making their way through mid-map.
And calling this in. Oh, the trophy system.
Just. It's 13-3.
Having a fantastic game. You'd think the team may be a little bit further ahead than they might be if they can hold this. Prolude waiting for the player to appear. They're just the other side. And FaZe's going to take him down as Methodz goes over the top. Clace is going to find him, though. Has to back off. Awakening's got him super weak. Awakening goes for the chow. Gets that one as well. TJ's going to be here looking for Awakening, who ducks down as reinforcements flood through for Boston, who will now take this. The rotation is in again. Legion are here first. But will they be the victors? Keep an eye on Nero.
TJ finding the kill there as well. It's a split here. Now for Vegas Legion need to find the kills as Boston Breach seem to just be huddled up a little bit better at this moment in time. Splits all over the place. Both two teams not controlling the spawners efficiently as they would like as Nero comes through with the challenge. Prolude and Co now spawning towards the back. Boston at the front. Vegas Legion shooting at each other.
TJ feeling the pressure, adrenaline dumping in the system, and he's got a little bit of a twitchy finger, and he is going to eventually be taken down before he can do any more damage. Both teams really slugging it out on this hard point, neither really able to break the deadlock, as eventually it will be Boston Breach who get more time here. But as the trades continue to come in, Legion just can't get anything going.
Neither team really could get anything going here. It has been absolute chaos. For all that we've seen the Subliners yesterday look so clinical on this map. They controlled the spawn so well. They knew when to rotate. They knew when to pin the opposition in. We've not seen any of that so far from either one of these two teams. It's been a little bit crazy. And after a rotation of hills, it is going to be about a 30-point lead for the side of Boston Breach. So fast and frantic. Very chaotic.
Oh, Nero, that was his own knee.
Yep, and that's not one to run into because Temple cleaned that up as well. Looking for those rotations over towards P2. It's still Boston Breach spawning. A good time for Legion though, P1.
Yes, they're doing a better job of holding here at the moment, but Awakening looking for that player up top Dome. They're going to know he's all the way back here, which means Legion will have to split their fire. You can already see on the minimap they're trying to kind of get around back towards the back of P2, leaving players alone on P1. Boston will have the numbers here to push this out if they can, as Awakening goes further and further back.
I was about to say, I wonder if Methodz and Vivid are just kind of chilling, don't want to show their face. So that Vegas Legion don't know exactly that somebody is in over towards the back. Prolude will find two though. That's a more good time. That may well, I want to say, be a full 60 from Vegas Legion over towards P1. It has notoriously been a real bugbear for them, but they get a lot of time. However, P2 has also really, really bad for them. Can Boston Breach punish them just as equally here?
Oh, look at this. They've got the kills, they've got the positioning. Keep an eye ready for the spawns. It's still going to be Boston at the back. It has not been enough for Legion to break.
That's 4 for Clay.
He is picking them off one at a time, but it's different between just keeping their heads down and actually breaking it. Tem gets another kill. They are flooding forward here as well. Nero actually has to back off. Vivid picks up 2. Clayster gets another one, eventually taken down by Methodz. And all the kill streaks and all the gunning in the world is not going to help if you cannot break that P2. Legion have not been good at it famously. First time of breaking it was actually earlier this game.
Swimmy Zinny. Now on the go down the outside. Manages to take down TJ. Get himself into a position as this rotation over towards P3 starts to come through. Those last two hills, full 60s for both teams by the looks of things. Oh, nearly about the majority of the time going over towards the team that were the first ones there. Probably Klister cleaning up those, spawn towards the back. Legion just don't have this control. He does have it, but you need to have somebody further towards the back. Or are they happy for Boston to spawn there? I don't know. It didn't necessarily work in a ways at the time. Still going over towards Legion.
Well, we'll see. At the moment, they're still spawning the back, so wait for about 20 seconds and you'll see that spawn come in. At the moment, Klister's having fun. We've talked about him with the Vasnev, but still gunning. That's another 4 streak for him. Looking for more players. He's going to see Awakening up top. There's a double chow coming through. Eventually, Boston get the teamwork in place. Legion retake the lead here as well, but the kills are going against them. You should now see Legion try to push this out if they can.
They're trying to. Nero and Co trying to prevent that, and look at this pressure coming in from Vivid as well. He wants his team still spawning out, but they start spawning towards the back of your Legion. Get your running shoes on. What a shot for him. That's 6 in a row from him. He's 23 and 11. That one slipped under the radar for me. Is the pressure now starting to come through? It's momentarily going to be a 3 versus 2. Heading in over towards the site. Make that a 2 versus 1 now down this side. Methodz staying alive and so crucially as Nero spawns up within the backup is that.
TJ making a splash, and then we'll make an even bigger one as he heads towards the hill. Methodz now has to turn. Methodz gets gunned as well. Vivid's going to be down low, but the trophy's going to deflect the stun, and Vivid and Nero! It's a big gunfight. It's a break here by the Legion as Temp tries to stem the tide of Boston Breaches. Methodz gets 2. More players flooding through, Ton.
And for all the last 3 hills before we got here, it's been pretty much full 60s for the team that got there first. This one's a little bit more scrappy. TJ towards the back, he gets taken down. It's pretty much equal numbers momentarily, but Vegas Legion's still spawning here, but for only 15 more seconds. If you're Boston Breach, do you try and pin them in? You don't want to give those back spawns up as best as you can, because when this starts to flip, keep an eye on where Legion are spawning. It's looking like still towards the back. Vivid's done his job. Time may well be over towards Legion, but rotation fully in the hands of Boston Breach. Look at the spawn from Legion.
TJ's going to know as well. He knows where he's going to be spawning.
He's
finds
huge,
the first, Prolink finds the second. It's sweat pouring off the brow of Methodz. He knows he's outnumbered. He finds the first one. That one that Klister.
There's the pinch.
The players swarm in. They are going to get in there. Legion have broken this one more time. Players still going to be hit from his Awakening fights too towards the back. TJ's looking for the player as Nero gets another one. What was good for Legion is now horrible.
They've been spawned out. Now they're spawned towards the back. Now the team really controlling the spawns, and you know what? It's been absolutely brilliant. TJ now pushing through. We may not know where we're spawning, but we know we got the gunny. Vivid's, Methodz, all trading back and forth. It's such a tight game, but the gunny from Klister, he hasn't slowed down. There's a 3 in a row. Temp's going off as well. Legion are 30 away from sending us to a map number 5.
It's so much like the last time we saw it. But can Legion hold this time? The P1 spawns come in all the way out. It's a bit of a chaos spawn for them. They've split it. And now Boston looking for this one. Nero. TJ. Temp's calling in the cruise missile as all of Legion fall. They've all gone down. He's trying to find
Big kill.
Towards the back. And Legion are spawned both sides. It's a pinch.
Can they set themselves up here? A moment of respite for both two teams as Vegas Legion start to think, how can we break this? Well, we all have died, so we can't. There's 3 down. It's only Temp for the moment. 30 points away now for the Boston Breach. The gunny was not quite there. Nero will win it. TJ slipped in that, though. Oh, he can't find it
before he gets Awakening. And they can win it here. It has
Gotta push.
Challenge. It has to be Legion to get through. They've lost the tick for it. Neither team can now win on P1.
Nero.
Nero gets 3. It's a 9 streak for Nero. That could be the final nail in the coffin. They've got P1 time. They are only going to need seconds on P2. One of the most unbreakable hill. As Nero calls in a cruise missile, it might as well be a nail in the coffin for Legion as they fall apart again at the end of the hard point. A 3-1 for Boston and vindication from Major 1.
What a game. That was wild. Vegas Legion just really started to turn up in that second rotation. They kept it close after the first. But we get to the third and it is again the same old story. Cannot finish their dinner. 3-1 Boston Breach. That was absolutely mental. Nero dropping a 9 spree on that. It was a 10 spree towards the end on the heads. He was 15 and 22. End of the game 25-22. Vegas Legion's woes on P1 and P2 come back to haunt them at the worst possible time.
It's the same as the first hard point. Legion look ready. They are ahead. It goes to P1. They even get splits over and over again. They get their spawn out towards P3. They've got players dome. They've got players P4. You think maybe they can squeeze. Nothing goes their way. Nero goes huge.
That was a hell of a game. Honestly, just ridiculously chaotic. Neither one of these two teams really seemed to have a lock on the spawns, which, as said, when we were going into it, we knew both these two teams well practiced. We knew they were both all about the same kind of gameplay, trying to win it the same way. Spawns, as said, were not controlled by either one of these two teams, but it made it very entertaining. Big win for the Boston Breach there.
Yeah, huge win in the end. And we're going to hand it over to our desk to break this one down and tell us what they think.
Cheers from the Buoyant Brits, and we have a great matchup that we got to break down. Buoyant means you float, by the way, Bryce. Nameless. We saw a moment at the end of that game, and we both said, holy crap, Boston is going to come back and take this game number 4. TJ shooting down on a player in the water, and Nero just flips on him.
My guy got thunderclap from the water. I mean, seriously, like, I think it happened a little bit prior to this situation here, but, you know, we heard, you know, them talking about the spawns a little bit and the nature of this map. It's so difficult. Like, even on rotation, we see towards P5, they're just going to spawn behind you anyways, unless you're hard blocking, running back and forth there. But we saw at the end, it was actually Vegas Legion on rotation early towards P1. They get wiped, and it's only Temp left. He gets 1 kill, gets traded out, and what that does is it flips him out. Boston then gets control of the hill and rotation, and Legion, they just couldn't get a hold on the map, and it was Nero back-to-back 3 pieces to secure the map control, and an incredible performance where he really turned it around.
I couldn't believe how close these games were and how entertaining it was from start to finish. iLLeY, we had our play of the game selected during game number 1. Yeah. It was a similar situation, though, where Boston had to clutch up. They did it not once, but twice in this series. How are they so consistent?
Well, so the thing about that hard point was the fact that they were down the entirety of the embassy at map 1. Like, they were completely down, and they got a full 60 in Kitchen Hill of all places. Like, this is one of the most difficult points on this map to get almost a full 60 in, and Boston Breach do it to basically win themselves the game. Love to call this a game-winning moment, and it's Vivid with the scar in sight, just staying alive this entire time. He's not overchallenging. He knows he's by himself, and this was just an amazing play from the side of Boston Breach.
Well, yeah, I mean, due to the nature of this game at this point, like, it's down to the wire. You know they're going to be like throwing their bodies at the hill. You know they're going to be spawning out hedges, right? And rather than Methodz like pushing over towards tennis court trying to get those spawn kills, he just waits, plays the tight setup, waiting for them to cross, doing some damage. He actually picks up 1 kill, and you have Owakening and Nero located around the hill. Owakening has an SMG in his hands and comes down to a big play. Awakening pops, finds a nice 2-piece, and what they get, like 45 seconds total on this hill. So it was just beautiful. From here on out, like, Zin's got the SMG in his hand. We're sitting there like, yo, the Vaznev really is different now.
I was just about to say that. I was like, that entire hard point, we saw all the members of the Boston Breach having attack and Vaznev out like the main. Our head Vaz, Awakening would have a Vaz, pop 2-piece. They're like, you guys get to run around with this?
It was craziness from start to finish in those hard points, but when it came to control, this was the most dominant performance we saw from the Breach, especially on the defense. And Nameless, you were calling it out. We got to take a look at the mini-map. We got to explain why this is so strong. I feel like you had a gamble there. Methodz on one side of the map, Awakening on the other, and then you got Vivid and Nero. Their job is to shut down the mid, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is the end of the round here where we see where they end up just clutching up. But throughout this round, I mean, it was really beautiful what we saw Boston doing. Like, they had Methodz top tower, they had Awakening over near the AC holding down each side of the map, and then Nero and Viv were just trading so well in the middle of the map. Like, when you get a team wipe there, you kill 3 or 4 players, they're gonna spawn out towards white, right? And typically what a team will do is they're not gonna push up field because they don't want to lose that and then get super trapped. So they're gonna start to rat back towards their bottom mid pool. But if you play like a rat, like Vivid was down there, or Nero, and camp those corners, you're gonna kill them, continuously spawn them back there. And whenever they did try to go field, they always ran into Awakening and Methodz on the left. So just a really good defensive setup that we haven't seen too many teams accomplish to that level.
All 3 of us called Boston. iLLeY said if it goes to game 4, Boston's winning. If it goes to a game 5, she was switching it to the Legion. Instead, though, it's done in 4, and Boston now 2-1 in our Major II qualifiers. Right now, we're joined by their big AR. He just sold me a hoodie last night. Better days ahead for Boston Breach fans, Methodz. They're crushing it today, my friend.
What's up?
It's good to see you. How are we feeling?
Better than I would have felt if we lost.
Wow. What an answer. Thanks for that. Congratulations on the win against the Vegas Legion. I have to ask, Nero, I feel like I found has been a little bit inconsistent, but right there in the end of that hard point, he was what kind of saved you guys that map. Is Nero a player you would describe kind of thrives in that chaos?
Yeah, he's like Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, he's always up and at him. He's obviously quick and aggressive, and like his impact is second to none. So even when he's not maybe putting up kills or slaying out, he's still like applying pressure and making the job easier for me and Joe. That's why I think playing with Reese and Dill is so easy, is they're just both very aggressive, and Reese is to my right on his phone. But when they're both slaying, I feel like we're pretty much untouchable. And when they're not, it still feels like we're still in the game because they're just very impactful.
Listen, Zin, you know, we're always talking about your team and all that. Everybody's asking you questions about Boston, how you guys are improving. Yeah. And you give us all those answers on your stream and on Reddit. So I want to ask you a little bit on the personal side of things. We did an interview with Scump, and then he retired right after that. I want to make sure we're not going to be doing any interviews with you and seeing any retirement soon. How did it feel when you saw one of your best friends in Scump retire on Monday?
Yeah, man. No comment. I'm still playing for now. Obviously, seeing him go is tough, and oh Jesus, man.
Wow, they had that.
Wow,
listen,
they had that ready.
Listen, he's obviously like done a lot for me personally and the scene, right? Like, I mean, I met him 12 years ago, and him and Nade were sort of like mentors to me in the sense that I looked at them as examples of what I can turn this into, and obviously he's had my back every step of the way. The top right picture is my favorite, a nice old-fashioned. Seeing him go is tough, but it's one of those things where he's done so much where now he can take a step back and relax and do his watch parties and still support the scene, but in a little bit of a different way. But I feel like his retirement it was the retirement, right? Everybody was sort of dreading the day it happened, and that day happened. So yeah. Tears were shed for most of the community, but obviously, as seen yesterday and today, I think he'll be just fine.
So, what are you hoping to accomplish with this Boston team? Because we know the Boston Major is coming right around the corner. What inspires you and motivates you to keep on going?
Just that feeling on stage, right? I mean, there's nothing like the hard work of competing paying off. I think the highs and lows are pretty extreme, right? I think the lows these days have left me in a spot where if we're not performing well and we're not getting wins, you kind of don't want to get out of bed. And then on the flip side, if you are winning and the team's doing well, it's like you're on top of the world and nothing can knock you down. So it's a balance of highs and lows, and I think those highs are what make the lows worth it. So just gonna keep hammering away and hopefully bring one home in Boston.
Methodz, I got a chance to plug your line. Hit me with it. What is BetterDaysAhead.club?
Good man. Wow, thank you very much. So obviously I'm a big proponent for mental health. As a player, I've had my fair share of struggles with anxiety and depression, and it's kind of tough to talk about because it's a scary thing to talk about because I don't want to be seen as a liability to any of these guys or my team, but I'm trying to talk about it more. I just think mental health in general is something that needs to be talked about, especially in this whole social media era. So I own a clothing company called Better Days Ahead. The goal of that is to make dope shit while also supporting and promoting a good cause. So we donate 10% of all of our profits to mental health charities. So if anybody watching is interested, it's betterdaysahead.club. We got a hoodie and 2 shirts up. Thank you guys very much for letting me talk about that on stream.
Did we plug that without asking permission? I'll take the fine. Here we go, baby. That's Methodz. You're doing great things for the community. One of my favorites from the very beginning. And congrats again on tonight's win.
Look at that chest hair. I gotta trim that
up. Get him out of here. All right, let's cut him.
Look at that chest hair.
That is Methodz. He's going to be in Boston. You can join him the 2nd to the 5th in February. Once again, tickets are on sale right now for Major II. CallOfDutyLeague.com is the place you should go during the break. When we come back, we'll talk about our next matchup. And reminder, we got watch parties all over the place. Use the hashtag CDL Watch Party all over social media. And if you want more information, it's on that same website, CallOfDutyLeague.com. We'll see you there.